Okay, Spider-Man 1991 here with my reviews for the week. And since we got a huge pile, let's kick it off with Invincible. Alright, we have another battle with the Flaxen invasions, and Robot unleashes a huge new suit, which is awesome. And during the fight, though, Invincible talks to Eve about how one of their clients called saying they need assistance, but he can't leave, and tells her to send Oliver, but Oliver's not under their contract. While Robot and Monster Girl decides to go after the Flaxens to try to stop them once and for all, since they won't keep coming back. And, of course, Oliver does go to handle the problem at their client, which he is able to take out. But then, next up we have Nolan and Alan the Alien going off to find Tech Jacket to help them with to join their invasion squad, join their squad against the Viltrumites. Then Mark and Oliver are discussing Oliver not going on the trip, and to which, of course, Debbie is surprised to see Nolan returned, and she, of course, does not forgive him, and even though Nolan apologizes. And then Tech Jacket and Alan start talking about, and then Nolan goes and talks to Oliver and asks him, "Do you want to come? You want to come up into space with us?" And he says, "Hell yeah!" So then Mark and Eve have a moment about he's going off into space, and she still has not told him that she is pregnant. So now, Invincible, Nolan, Kid Omni-Man, and Alan the Alien and Tech Jacket are all on this ship, which I think appeared with a crew that appeared way back in early issues. And now, then all of a sudden they get attacked, and Invincible, Tech Jacket, and Oliver were on the bridge at the time, so they're safe, but then they go off and find the attackers to be Conquest and the two other Viltrumites. So obviously big things next issue. Invincible number 71, okay, the return of Conquest is pretty much a great way to kick off this part, is a great way to end off this part one of the war, alright? It just seems to get me more interested in this, and I'm really excited for next month's issue. Alright, next up, Amazing Spider-Man 629. Where last left Amazing Spider-Man, he and the Juggernaut were fighting Captain Universe. Captain Universe is out to get revenge on the Juggernaut for causing building damage and then getting him fired and no longer being able to hold a job. And then, of course, finding the power of Captain Universe, and he immediately goes after the Juggernaut. Then suddenly Captain Universe tries to kill the Juggernaut, but then the Enigma Force leaves him and then inhabits the Juggernaut so that he could carry out the original mission, which was to fix these fault lines under New York City. So they go off. So Juggernaut is able to repair the fault lines while Spider-Man and the guy from the Nigian were in a hard to pronounce last name, were trapped in a force field by the Juggernaut. They break out, but then when Juggernaut just tells them to go, and Juggernaut apologizes for everything he's done. Then the Enigma Force leaves, and the Juggernaut leaves, and then a few weeks later, Will Nagayan, who writes a book about his encounter with the Juggernaut, which becomes a bestseller, and he uses the proceeds to help others who had a hard time like him. So he's using his third chance at life to help others, which of course makes Peter pretty happy, especially since he now goes off with Carly Cooper. Okay, Amazing Spider-Man 629. It was kind of a good ending where everything worked out. I think that is a little more giving Peter a little more enlightened that someone's taking their encounters and being more responsible. So it was kind of a little uplifting from after Peter Parker got unemployed. But that's just me. Alright, Fantastic Four number 578. Alright, we open up with Johnny Storm at a club and getting a girl in his Fantastic card and going back to the Baxter building. Which, of course, the girl then all of a sudden reveals, and okay, I know the villain of the Negative Zone. He's an old foe on Julius. Don't correct me if I mispronounce it. Okay, it's just really hard to pronounce. Well, anyways, the bugs creep out of her and go into the Negative Zone with the bug. with the bomb. Johnny orders Herbie to keep the portal open so he can go after them. And, of course, there's this huge takeover of the negative zone prison. So then Johnny tries to warn everyone, but they don't listen. He fights back, and then, oh, shit. And then he tries to shoot the bugs, but then they evolve into with wings and stuff. And, of course, then we have the little Herbie recap here, which is revealed to be taken by Valerie Richards with an iPad. So now Apple is not only marketing digital comics, but they've also included in-comic marketing. So she's typing it up, and then Johnny's telling her about the experience with the negative zone. Eventually he got out of there and closed the portal. And meanwhile, Sue Richards takes Andromeda to meet with the other Atlantean councils, while there's this huge crystal substance coming out of the North Pole, and which is not Superman's Fortress of Solitude. Next up, we have Reed talking to Johnny about his actions with the negative zone, saying that he should really have that Reed is happy that Johnny does do stuff head first, but he needs to start paying attention. And then we have the Inhumans leading their army of 6 warriors called the Light Brigade into the negative zone to fight off the Annihilus creatures, which is now called the War of the Four Cities. Alright, so now John Hickman is apparently everything that Hickman's been working on is now starting to tie together, which is good, and I'm really interested to see how it all plays out now, so Fantastic Four I would definitely recommend. Next up, Invincible Iron Man, number 25. Okay, this is after Siege, okay? So everything that happens in this comic is right after Siege. So now we have an a pitch about this new robotic android called Detroit Steel, which is a colossal, huge weapon defender marketed by Hammer Industries. And of course, the army just immediately dismisses it. General Babbage here just dismisses it from Justine Hammer, saying that it's pointless for them to offer it because Tony Stark's back. And then we have Tony back at Bronxton, Oklahoma, thinking about what he's going to do with his suit and his company and everything. Then Maria is discussing to Rhodey how Tony knows about everything, but he didn't 100% experience it. So now Tony decides to go to the Baxter building to see Reed Richards to help him make a new suit. Then we have Hammer here stating that telling her pilot of Detroit Steel, Lieutenant Johnston, to calm down because saying that she just has to wait for Tony Stark to be Tony Stark. We have Tony discussing Reed about the extremist system, about how it connected Tony to the armor, and now thanks to his new repulsor, arc repulsor in his chest, he's now smarter and better than ever, so that he needs to make a suit that would help upgrade his extremist tech, so that would allow his suit to be more attached to him. So then we have Tony talking to the military again with Pepper, saying that he's no longer building any weapons. So now the general dismisses him and leaves. Next up, we have Miss Hammer buying up some remaining weapons from the Osborn's Hammer organization. And then Tony's helping rebuilding Bronxton, Oklahoma, when Thor shows up, talks to him about how it's going to be a long road for him to trust Tony again. And Thor offers him some treasures of Asgard to help rebuild, to give him some financial reward, but Tony just says no, and he'd rather just build his own company from the ground up as sort of a challenge. And so now Tony announces his new company, Stark Resilient. It's no longer making weapons, and now he's trying to market the free energy in his arc reactor. And Pepper says he's being stupid with this, and that he's supposed to be smart. She and Maria Hill fly off in a helicopter, and Tony activates his new armor, which is actually inside him, which is awesome, and it grows on him, and he flies off and says he is Iron Man. Okay, gotta stop right here. Stay tuned for part 2.